Michael. What you doing, Herbie? We are live. And we are still waiting on Herbie, but he will show up someday. But he's he's a small fry anyway. It's okay.
Boom.
There he is. Big Nitto guy. Big Nitto guy. There he is. Big Nitto guy. Big Nitto guy. Loves his NTO5s. Let's go.
Big Nitto guy.
G2.
Okay, whatever.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
What you want.
Is that what we're doing?
Oh, okay. Already lost our guest. That's great. Thank you for
Gotta
staying.
get the XCOM hat.
He's about to get the XCOM.
Yeah, gotta get the XCOM
Listen,
hat.
I have the XCOM shirt in my drawer. I just
Oh.
forgot that. I actually forgot I had it on.
Go ahead and break the fresh one out, boys.
Listen, man, I'm sorry. I forgot I had it on. I was just
Got the
outside.
cardboard out.
It's actually a little chilly in California right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's apparently it's been raining here for the past week, and I missed all of it in Florida.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Florida had plenty of rain for you, no?
Didn't at all.
What?
I don't like the lighting.
What? It's fine. You just
We'll
send it.
We'll
Just put it next to you.
Yeah, we'll put it next to me.
Oh,
But
Get a prop.
how's everybody doing? Sorry, I just hopped in and interrupted.
well, I literally said about 2 words and then you hopped in, so it's kind of perfect timing. Okay, it's all good. Herbie couldn't fix his hair, so he had to cover it. I agree, Tony. I agree.
That's right.
Every time. But no, guys, welcome to episode 70. We are continuing the show, kind of moving into more of our interview stage of the, I guess, season. Just because FD is kind of done. The driving's kind of calming down a bit, and now we get to talk to some really cool people, doing cool things. And actually, we have a guy who you've run. Not only FD in America, but you also ran FD Canada, or it wasn't actually called FD Canada. I apologize. Was it?
That's right. Yeah,
It is
Formula Drift Canada.
Yeah, Formula Drift Canada.
That's effectively how I was licensed to go pro USA, because I skipped. Pro-Am, that was 2015, I think. I got my license in 2 different Pro-Ams, and then that was right around the time they started Pro Spec, Pro 2. Was it Pro 2?
Pro 2 back then, yeah.
Yeah, Pro 2.
Yeah.
And we went straight to Formula Drift Canada Pro, ran there 2 years, and then came to USA.
Yeah. No, it's those were the days, right? That's when I met you, and
yeah.
I've known you for what, going on almost 10 years.
Yeah, right around.
Which is wild to see. I mean, you've gotten a little more gray hair than I remember initially meeting you, but
Come on, dude. Tell him that he's getting more bald. You at least have hair. He's getting balder.
that's
Come
true,
on, man. I
that's
just got
true.
that military haircut going on.
No, not you. No, yeah. No, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
See,
Nate, on the other hand.
Yeah, Nate's afraid to take the hat off. That's what I'm saying. He's making fun of your hair color, and meanwhile, he's losing his.
Yeah, thanks, Herbie.
Yeah, it's
I
probably
knew
because
you,
I'm
my
wearing
guy.
the hats all the time. That's why. But welcome in, guys, to another fun one here. We got Jonathan Nerren as our guest, as well as Herbie and Brandon. Herbie, welcome back for missing the show last week. It's okay, I'll forgive you.
I think 2 weeks.
Been
you
a
missed-
while.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, but we didn't have a show 2 weeks ago. But real quick, Herbie,
Yeah.
how do you feel about oval tracks? I'm just curious. In drifting.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say NASCAR's pretty cool. For drifting, I mean, Irwindale was sick, but that was the House of Drift.
True.
I think Vegas might be cool, but that's into specifics. How do I feel about circle tracks in drifting? We could do better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get having a couple. I get having a couple in FD, but you can't have 5 of 8 rounds. That's the wild part to me. But I mean, you commented in our show last week. Some of them are definitely good placeholders for future changes, hopefully. But
Is there a live comment section?
yes, there is.
Yes.
So if you
Can I
pull
see
up,
that?
if you pull it up on YouTube,
Yep.
Yeah, I've been neglecting the chat. What's up, chat? Sorry,
Yeah.
long time no see.
I know. And if you guys got questions for Nerren, we will definitely be asking him. Obviously, Dustin in here with the little Shelby pointing towards FD. Maybe someday. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. Could be fun. Could be fun.
Pretty cool.
You know, RTR could use some competition. Not gonna lie. Especially with no JTP around anymore. But you know, that's getting into the weeds a little bit for later. But no, in terms of just some quick news to cover off, I knew about this, but Corey Talaska posted that he was accepted for pro. I think well deserved. We kind of knew about it, but again, super happy for him. I hope he does make the jump. I think it'll be good for him. The other guy that posted he got approved for pro, Formula Drift, is Cole Richards, who was 5th in the series. Now, to be fair, he was going into the event, wasn't he first? The final round,
third or second or first.
Yeah, he was up there in the points, and so he also got approved. Again, another guy that I think had the financials to go pro, which is probably part of the reason why he got accepted. He's also a very good driver, and makes sense to me. If FD's goal to raise the driver count, then I'm all for it. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it for myself. But that is the news I saw. Other news, and actually I'm going to quick pop it up, is on the screen, is Grid Life. Grid Life just dropped their schedule, and Brandon had some interesting, you just let me know, or you tell them what you told me.
I think I was incorrect with my statement. I thought each round was going to be, or each event was going to be a festival, but I don't think it.
So it looks like we only got. And I thought South Carolina was a festival, but we have Midwest and Laguna Festival.
They just did really good with this clickbaity article title. That's all I gotta say. You know, Coast to Coast 2026 festival season sounds like every event's a festival, but you know, whatever, guys, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The South Carolina event is for it. That shit fucking. It's just not like they don't have a headlining musician or anything like that. But golly, the parties are great.
Yeah.
Carolina knows how to throw down.
Yeah, for dang sure.
Yeah. So they had music in South Carolina.
I mean, drunk guys, we were having a blast, dude. That was when I.
Or no, was it karaoke? Is that what they were doing?
No, that was Lime Rock.
Oh, it was Lime Rock. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I didn't go to South Carolina this last year. I went the year before, and I was like, damn, this is good.
So one observation Brandon did make, though, is that we are down 3 events compared to last year, which is interesting. To me, you know, when you get above like 6 events, especially when you're talking about a Grid Life, it's kind of hard unless they're like straight up road racing events. Obviously we lost Pit Race. You don't see Road America on there, and I don't remember the other track that they're not going to, but
Mid-Ohio.
Mid-Ohio, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. But that'll be a interesting schedule, to say the least, just because the GLTC schedule, or the GLT events, are now down to 6 events instead of 9, which I know that's a super competitive racing series they do. But I am curious to see how that goes, because that is another series that I get to cover on my day job. We get to go and help out some of the drivers in the GLTC series, and even, you know, some of the other road racing side. And part of the challenge of a series like that is they include points of all 9 rounds. So now it's down to 6. It's going to be a little bit, I don't know if it's easier is the right word, but definitely less rounds for that road racing series. But yeah,
not looking forward again to the FD and Grid Life at the same time.
FD Grid Life, it's gonna be
hate you for shooting all of that.
I'm making a rule that we're not doing that. Sorry if you guys wanted footage from me at Grid Life, it's not happening.
No, it's just gonna be really expensive.
Yeah,
if you
how was
really
that
want
event?
footage, that's just gonna cost a band.
I'll be honest. From a drifting perspective, it wasn't worth it. If you were just doing grid life.
Right. Yeah, I was curious because we had discussed going there because Road Atlanta is always an iconic track to run.
Right.
It's always fun, but I didn't know how they tied so much into one weekend because I feel like
wasn't it like
FD's
2
already
drifting
packed as it
sessions a
is.
day for like 15 minutes or something like that?
Yeah, 2 15s or 3 15s a day. And that's
Oh, really?
it.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
And it was fucking raining.
And
Even
and
worse.
every time you went in the horseshoe or horseshoe, whatever the hell you call it, the circle area, it was all smoked out.
Horseshoe.
So horseshoe, and you couldn't even see anything.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
The footage was terrible.
And everyone wanted to shoot out the horseshoe because you go down like what corner is that? 11 or 12 out of like 10A and 10B, and they wanted to like shoot down, but you couldn't because it gets so smoky under the bridge.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything.
You get either Brian Hopp or fucking Kaufman coming in, and then that was it.
Yeah. No. So yeah,
But
we'll
that's
see how that
typical
goes
grid
this
life,
year.
though. I feel like I honestly, like, you go to any grid life, and as soon as that first pass for drifting goes, it's just like, okay, good luck, everybody else. I hope that there's a gust of wind for whoever I'm shooting for.
Right.
So
yeah, no, it's I don't know. It was just that's so much stuff to cover. At least
Like,
on our end it was, and it was just
I would do it for,
a lot of money.
Well, yeah, a lot of money, or if I'm just like, let me just go check it out on my own account.
Right.
But
yeah.
otherwise, a lot of money.
But no, that was so I just wanted to bring these guys up. If you guys haven't seen that, they did release the schedule. But moving on, this thing also came out. This little car, Nerren. If you guys didn't see, Shelby or Nerren released a car with Shelby, and that's all I'm gonna say on it. So, do you want to kind of explain what we're looking at here, sir?
Sure. So that is a 2026 SSR. So it's their Super Snake wide body R. It is right now. That's number 6. The first 5 that they produced were prototypes that they're bringing to different shows around to show off the new model that will be a 2026 production from Shelby American itself. So some things that a lot of people don't know is when you hear Shelby, they think, okay, Shelby makes the GT350, GT500. Well, Shelby is the name, the branding. Actually, Ford is manufacturing those. And Shelby does different models like the Super Snake or the SSR, even the Shelby 1000 in previous years, or the KR. Just some of the models, but they do those particular models. They do in-house at Shelby American in Las Vegas, so it's a lot smaller production run. So it's you're not buying one of 10,000 vehicles. You're buying one of 200, or whatever they're producing from each particular model. Code Red, there's a bunch of different proprietary models that they make just at Shelby in their facility there. But anyway, this particular one, they did 5 prototypes, and this was theoretically like the number 6 prototype that we did, and it's dubbed the SSR Drift. So we're going to be taking it. It's just another avenue for Shelby to release the new model and get fans, or just people that are looking at Mustangs or Shelbys in particular, to get them more well acquainted with the Shelby brand and with the SSR in general. By putting them in the car, we're going to be doing a lot of exhibitions alongside different Shelby events this year, and so we'll be able to get guys up close and personal with the new model Shelby SSR.
That's sick.
Yeah,
it looks cool,
dude. And it's the first Mustang that I've seen with a big wing that I think works.
Right. I've never been a wing guy like
like check this shot out.
But man, it is.
But yeah,
I actually was not. We didn't have the wing on the car when we first brought it to Shelby, and I was not planning on running because I'm a big duckbill guy. There's that little duckbill coming off the back. I think that looks sick. I'll probably have it on every car I ever have drifting. And when I was looking at the side of the car with how aggressive the body lines and the carbon diffuser and front splitter and everything that they add on, the wide body winglets on the skirts, and just how massive the rear of this car is, everything, it looks really good without it. But I started looking at some of the other cars with it on there. I'm like, you know what? I wonder how it would look. And at the moment they placed it on there, the guys at a couple of the guys at Shelby that were helping out, Colin and Tyler, shout out to you boys, that were helping put the car together. As soon as they put it on there, I'm like, man, it fits. It makes it look more aggressive and just really flowed with everything else going on with the car. And it's, to me, when you put a big wing on a car, I always thought it took away from the car and made it look kind of cheap and cheesy. But man, if it didn't add to this car, I wouldn't believe it. Just not seeing it in person, and I just absolutely in love with that wing.
100%.
And it's not, again, like I said, it's not something I'm a big fan of or push at any means.
Right. Well, I mean, any of your other cars, you've never had big wings on.
Like really early in my drifting career, I had like a little dirt track wing on my car. Like the winglets or the end plates or whatever.
Yeah,
one was shaped this way, one was shaped this way. That was like 2014. And we were just testing, we were new in the game and just testing different theories and what would work. And like, depending on the track, we'd twist them or turn them or whatever.
That's funny.
We noticed some stuff, but like, it could have just been the track layout. It could have been,
knowing you, half the time it got ripped off anyways. So.
Yeah. I actually never ripped that wing off. I sold it to somebody on Marketplace or Craigslist at the time. I don't know. I just picked on.
That's funny.
That's funny. Yeah.
That's good. Shelby's I've always considered just a very old school American brand. How do you even sell drifting to these guys? Because you've been working with them for a while now, but like I'm sure that process has not been. And I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it's like it's a bit different, compared to
it's process. I mean, they're corporate America. You're not just talking to one dude. So it has to go up and go see approval from X amount of hands until everybody's on board with it, and that's just been a process because, like you said, they've been about just racing in general and road coursing and building street cars and making it the fastest one out there. So for them to quantify the fastest car, you can't really do that in drifting, and more so had to lean on bringing a younger demographic to Shelby American, and that can be started with many ways. But to bring the eyes to them, it's 45-second clip or 30 seconds of drifting out there catches really anybody's eyes, from the youngest of the young to the oldest of the old, really. So it's been a process for sure, but it's definitely clearly going in the right direction. And the one thing that really helped us out in the very beginning is their vice president, Vince. He worked alongside Carol through the years of building cars. And I mean, really, he's just been instrumental in keeping the brand alive and thriving over the years.
Yeah. And
he is, he actually designed the SSR and all of their cars. He does all the design work, the testing, the making, and test driving the cars to make them what they are. So he likes drifting, and that has been a crucial step in having Shelby moving forward in this direction. And he's the guy that I got in contact through 10 years ago. He sent me, real long story short, I worked on Vaughn's team for 2013, 2014. I was on a TV show with him in 2012, and we became friends and worked on his team. I ended up getting one of his old RTR chassis, the S197s, and we were initially going to build it, but I split from his team when we got our pro license and we're going pro, and we were going to build a Mustang. And long story short, we ended up separating on a couple things, and linked up with Shelby, and he sent me a wide body kit for the S197. And at that time we had just a chassis, like nothing else. And if we were looking at building the S550s that just came out, like, okay, do I invest X amount of dollars in a brand new chassis, or do I build this S187? We ended up going the S550 route. And again, from that point, it was just a process of kind of pushing the envelope more with them. And we ran FD that first year, half the year with the Mustang. I don't know if that was COVID year. I can't remember if that was the first year or second year I ran the COVID year. But we ended up popping a motor, and we couldn't get parts because it was like we couldn't get like some exhaust valve or something on the heads. There's different things we couldn't get to get the motor built, to put an actual proper built motor in the car.
Yeah.
That year, so we ended up not running the Mustang. The second half of the year, we got back in the 240. But it's been things like that we've had to constantly kind of push, and we got the S550. After FD, we got the S550 like back up into its prime, and some different partners on board, and I essentially got into doing an exhibition at SEMA and maybe 3 years ago with Optima. And I left the car at Shelby after that and just told Vince, the VP, like, hey, man, you want to take this car out? You want to drive it? Do what you want to do with it. It's your car, more or less. And I think that really fueled the fire, or sparked it and then fueled it to get us to this point where we are now. Because, I really had to be in their face, have a car. They walked out to the shop and saw, like, hey, we got a really nice drift car. What are we doing with it? Let's. So he would take it out in the parking lot, do some events, and drift in front of the crowds, and kind of just use it as a showpiece. And they got a positive reaction out of it, and that kind of turned into this new 650 build. A lot more to it than that. I don't want to get off on a long,
right.
Going off on too long of a tangent here, but we can dive into that more as you want. But that's more or less the steps that it took us over the past 10 years. Really fast forwarded.
Right. Yeah.
Damn.
And it's been, I feel like it's been up and down over the years too. But the other thing that is very interesting with a company like a Shelby is, like you said, their pedigree and whatnot, and kind of how like, obviously I'm sure they're like super picky about their name and what their name's on and stuff like that, and what it's 100%. Involved with and whatnot. So like, obviously you're navigating the waters of, like, this isn't like a takeover thing. This isn't like, this is like a proper motorsport, like, how did you sell the motorsport side to them?
So fortunately, Shelby is going, and they're debuting and are showing off a lot of their new models of cars to events that we've been alongside.
Yeah.
Like Fuel Fest. So we were together down in Fuel Fest, West Palm. Me and the rest of the team, Bauer and Drift Dreams, Mike and Cameron. They all got their Mustangs. We had a bunch of them down there. At the same time, they were down there, and they were just enlightened and opened to the fact that drifting was like the major spectacle at these events. So there was pretty obvious. People were walking around. Obviously, it's a car show. You have live music there, and all the Fuel Fest things that are badass. Because I love the Fuel Fest events. They do a great job catering and putting on everything they need to do. But it was kind of an eye opener, more so for them to that as well, and how it aligned with what we're doing and what they're doing. So that kind of also helped navigate the waters, like you said.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. And this car in particular is like you said, a demo car and whatnot, but what I'm curious about is kind of talking about the chassis in general, and kind of take me through the steps of, okay, first off, the suspension and whatnot, and what you would do to make a Mustang into like a fun party drift car, and like, where would you even start? Like, let's say you were able to pick up an S550, S650. Well, first question is there big differences in the suspension on the newer cars for people to get into, and like, what's the big differentiators, and then what are you doing when you want to actually make and go and drift a
so there's probably some small other things that may be different between the 550 and 650 chassis that I'm not going to cover here, but 95% of this I know for a fact of what it is. So some people can correct me if I'm wrong here, but the 550 and 650 chassis are actually very common. The subframes are the same, front and rear. So it's not exactly, because there's some weight differences, and obviously Gen 3, Gen 4 Coyote stuff, and there's some minor differences alongside that. But the 550 is, the 650 is almost like on a 550 chassis with a 650 body, more or less. Right. The front end is almost exactly the same. And talking with Matt from Synergy Race Development, he's helped me do it. We put their S550 angle kit on the front, and the only difference was like the tie rods. It was, I can't remember the diameter, but it was like a diameter difference on the shaft of the inner tie rod. So that was got a S550 front angle kit on it. Again, we just changed tie rods. And one thing I didn't change yet, which I think is absolutely crucial on a Mustang or with a S550 or 650 with the E-Rack, is doing that SRD conversion to go to hydraulic rack, which is like an old 05 to 09 S197 rack, and then you do their conversion. All the guys on the team, we all did Opal pumps, but you can kind of insert whatever electric hydraulic pump you want to do with the hydraulic rack. That was like honestly one of the biggest differences in my 550 platform. On the 650, for whatever reason, it actually has. Oh, so take me back a step. The reason I did that is do the hydraulic rack is because the E-rack is just incredibly numb. Like you have no idea. I mean, I can turn the wheel like with a finger at any point. They have no self steer, and you just didn't know what the car was doing up front. Like it just never felt good. I could add 1,000 degrees of caster, camber, different spring rates. It's just nothing ever made the front of that car feel good to me. And maybe I don't know as much some of the other guys out there, but we have our plenty and we have our time and chassis setup. And it just never felt good until we put that hydraulic rack setup in there. And then all of a sudden it had self-steer. It did the things it was supposed to do. And you didn't have to drive off the rear of the car. You knew where the front was at. And it's just made everything transfer and feel as it should, as a drift car should feel. For whatever reason, the 650, and I don't know if they're all like this because that car is a little special. The E-rack in it feels like Ford's done some changes to feedback in it because it's not as numb. And that may be because the car is pissed off right now on the stock ECU and because so much stuff is unplugged from it. But the feeling in the feedback in the 650 rack, it does feel different. Other differences, the rear of the car, 650 wise, if you have a performance, there's a performance pack and a non-performance pack version. The non-performance pack car is essentially S550 in the back. The performance pack utilizes, and I don't know what all models it does, but it's like the GT500 rear end. So it has the brakes, the knuckles, lower control arms, and the vertical links are all like a GT500. And there may be another, it may be GT350. I'm not sure what all ones utilize that, but I know for sure the 500 does. And that's pretty much what the performance pack 650s use. So that particular car that we built was a performance pack car. And for ease of setup, we ran the Synergy Race Development dual caliper kit. So we ended up putting all S550 stuff on it, knuckles, the lowers, and the vertical links. And we just bolted that right up to the subframe and went from there. So it was a relatively similar setup. Another change that we made from the 550 to the 650 was our spring rates in the rear, and us use those Silver's two-way coilovers. We changed spring rates in the rear, and that also made a massive difference. This, like the new 650, it feels already way better than my 550 does. But it's probably just because we've developed that 550 for a while, and I just took the knowledge from there and put it directly into this 650. And the SSR is a beast, man. That thing I was immediately comfortable from the very first lap in it, and it feels way better than the 550 does.
Sweet. Which is crazy because, like, obviously the 550 is a former FD car. It's got all the bells and whistles and whatnot. But
well, strictly from a chassis grip, moving around standpoint, power wise, the 550
obviously,
it's a fully built Coyote with the 6XT, and it makes all the right noises, with the Whipple and all that jazz.
Right. Yeah. No, it's interesting, and it's a curious chassis, the Mustang chassis, because I've heard a lot of things about like the E-rack and all that kind of stuff, and it's interesting that the new ones might feel better, and maybe but I mean, like you said you would still probably change it just so because what the setup and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we'll play. I'm gonna utilize it for now, but once we get the car back in North Carolina, that's probably something we will update just to have all of the cars, because there's 4, 5, 6. We have a bunch of 550s, 650s between the team that we try to keep everything kind of common as far as each chassis. So if we don't have to have spares for this car, spares for this car, spares for this car, we can have a couple sets of spares for all the cars. The same coilovers, same angle kits, same arms. It makes whenever we go to an event, whatever car we throw in there, it's going to have the same parts. And also, E-racks are incredibly expensive if they go out. The Opal pumps are cheap. The S197 racks are cheap, and then we just make our A lines fittings and swap out as needed if something goes out on us. But we've had really good luck with the older S197 racks, and same thing with those Opal pumps.
Cool.
Nice.
Speaking of the team, here's a picture of the team. You guys driving at SEMA. Yeah. What
boys?
The boys. Tell me a little bit about the team and the some of the team aspects. You guys have been doing a lot of driving stuff together.
Who took that shot? It's sick.
Yeah, I know.
blow Nate's head up a little bit while we're here.
Exactly. Because I need it, right?
No, please stop.
That's why he has a hat on, so it doesn't expand.
Yeah, he's got to constrain it.
He pops his hat off, and it's like
the airhead shit.
There you go.
Yeah, so the guy up front, that's Cameron Griffin. He has been him and the guy behind him, Justin Bauer. They teamed up. The Mustang crew. They teamed up a couple years ago, I believe, 2-3 years ago, and they ran some pro-am stuff together. And it was kind of like how me and Tyler Nelson did a handful of years ago. It was trying to make sense of running pro-am or running different events. Get a 2-car trailer, share a truck, or switch trucks, depending on where you're going. Try to save on fuel, hotels, all the stuff that makes drifting expensive. Obviously, can't share tires, but everything else, kind of effectively the goal is to cut your cost in half without, if we don't get a ton of sponsor money. And, obviously everybody knows how tough that is. So that was their goal. And they've kind of worked. I've kind of worked with them, and they've worked their way into the team as well. They've proven themselves, and, definitely Justin has big time, because me and Justin Bauer, we go back a long way as far as, he's been driving, actually, I think longer than I have, maybe. I know it's a long time ago he started driving, but he drove one of my S14s in Pro-Am, and I don't know, like 2016 or 17-ish. He can get on here and correct me or hit me in the comments. Yeah. But something like that. And he finished 4th. He almost got his pro spec license at or Pro 2, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
His license in it. But then he moved into the Mustangs. But in the interim, he was helping me on my team and proving himself as an asset to my team, and as just a being able to market him, and as far as having another driver that looks good, and with the Shelby brand itself, and our whole goal of building a Shelby crew drift exhibition team, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
For now, you want to have align yourself with like-minded individuals and somebody that has a just common mindset and goal, and gonna, I guess, put off the right vibes.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And so, but they're already shredders, so it's how else what else does it make sense? So I more or less groom them into the direction we all want to go, and we all work together. It's not like I'm leading the pack and they're just following. Like it, we all bounce our ideas off. And my boy Mike Farino, he's a key player in that. He drives as well. He's not in this picture, but he could be, because he did drive at SEMA as well in my 550. So he is kind of instrumental part of our program too. So, there's a lot that goes on in the background that I guess isn't seen on the social wise, but that's more or less the gist of it. We want to just have a program that looks good and can represent Shelby American and the guys at XComp, how they should be presented.
Yeah.
And that's what we push for. We want to have some good looking cars, and whenever we show up, it's like, damn, that's a professional looking team.
Hell yeah. You bring up XComp. I'm curious, because I keep seeing them pop up now in more and more things. I know they were doing some stuff with Forsberg, and like Corey Hosford and those guys, and I keep seeing them popping up now in drifting. So I'm curious, what's the deal with XComp? What should we be expecting from them?
Man, they taking over. Let's go, baby. So there's a lot of plans on the horizon. There's a lot of money invested into their program in motorsports. they've kind of hitting in a little bit of a lot of motorsports and a lot of the a handful of the, what do you call these guys, creators, content creators, and on the socials, and like daily driven exotics.
That's right. Yeah.
DDE, they run their stuff, and they kind of try to touch on the marketing side, and as well in motorsports big time, because it's a tire that it's proven on the street and proven on the track, and it's something that it's easy to market because it works. It's not something you got to bullshit somebody because the proof is in the pudding.
Right.
You can just say, hey, go try it out. If it sucks, then throw it away. But it doesn't. So with that, Dave, I actually worked for them. I guess to go back real quick, I worked for them. It's been 2014. I came on as one of their sponsor drivers, but with their sister brand, which was Zenna Tires at the time, and we helped develop some new designs, develop compounds for them, and it was, man, a super badass tire. They changed the direction in, I don't know, late 2010s. We were trying to get them in the FD for a long time, like 3 years, and then finally it was just like, then we're not going to let them in. And it wasn't anything to do with them. It was the tire committee board on FD and whatever. And it was just a process in that aspect. So that's another reason why I went and ran FD Canada. Anyway, fast forward. They've the guys that were running their motorsport marketing program, the owner, have really pushed their focus the last few years, more specifically in motorsports, and diving into supporting drivers and just getting the name out there even more so. So their direction is just all about growth and getting drivers on their tires and into the hands. It's a competitive tire, and they have a couple different models, but you can either competition, fun events. We run in all of them. So
100%.
Direction they're going for next year, we got some new stuff we're building, sizes, compounds.
That's exciting. That's cool.
Nice.
And so do you? Obviously, you used to work for a tire company and stuff like that. Do they value your opinion when it comes to compound and all that kind of stuff? And like, how does a conversation like that go? Because obviously they're tire experts, but you're also partially a tire expert as well,
Yes, I mean, we helped develop and test their compounds many moons ago, and I worked directly some with their Dan, their motorsport marketing lead, and also the owner. I have a really good relationship with the owner, and a lot of what I say is, I mean, they take for what it is. It's just facts, So they do absolutely listen and take what I say and then kind of put that into.
So like, what's some of the aspects that you guys debate on and talk about, and like, what are some of the things you look for? Is it tire life? Is it forward? Is it side? Like, what's kind of like the debate like?
So it's a balance. You have to have the tire has to work on the track, and it has to work on the street. So like, we're not just selling. They don't just want to sell a tire that is going to get too hot on the street and start. You can be too soft. Like, you get a tire that's the tread depth is like a 10 or 11 30-second, and it's too soft of a compound. You start getting some heat going down the highway, and all of a sudden you feel your car doing this number. Yeah, it's because that tread's rolling over and it's so soft. It'd probably be amazing in drifting. It'd be great, a really tall tread, a deep tread, and soft, and it'd probably be killer on the track, but it not so much fun on the street. So
correct.
It's like I said, it's a balance. So we want to have tread life is one, or tire life, excuse me, and grip, and all within the boundaries of a tire that lasts. So we don't want to. I don't want to name brands out there because I don't want to say who's better or worse or whatever. But there's certain brands we're not going after. We don't care to be the who runs those. Is it DMCC or
DMEC?
DMEC.
The Valinos stuff.
The Extremes and Valinos.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that those things are just ridiculous.
That's not really a target that we're going after. Just because there's they're kind of in a league of its own a little bit. Yeah. So and then I don't feel like FD would ever let them in anyway.
No.
It's just too much because everybody would be on it. They're not 200.
Yeah, no.
No, you can like press it with your fingernail, and it's just
Play-Doh.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they're fun though.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, but so like you said, it's the balance. So we want a tire that lasts, that smoke, that feels good, and doesn't delam, like all the things. And honestly, like it's already been accomplished, and you'll see that in 26.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
It's gonna be a ripper.
That's awesome. And it's an interesting predicament with like the whole FD thing and trying to find what how different tire companies navigate drifting, and whether it was just market grassroots or do you market FD and go for the competition side. Like I think I look at a company like Kenda, who went for the grassroots for the longest time. Like they were just a grassroots only tire for who knows how.
So this year,
years.
honestly.
Yeah. And then
they're marketing in FD, but it wasn't.
Well, their first year they kind of came out. The tire wasn't the best. Second year they made an update and it was a lot better. It's actually pretty darn competitive now. I mean, they got some of the biggest names on their tires now, like Freddie Osbo and whatnot. So it's a very interesting market to try and navigate and figure out where to play.
Yeah, so what helps is having multiple compounds. Like they have the X-Comp has a tire that they use at like Hot Pit, with Jeff Jones and those guys. So it's like a 300 or 320. I think they dubbed it a 320. It's either 300 or 320. I can't remember exactly which one it is. Yeah. Whatever is within the Hot Pit rule books, and that's really what that tire is. And it's that's the tire that your grassroots guy can get on, and it's going to be grippy and last. Right. And then they have their 200 tread, which the new one coming out is going to be pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah, very cool.
And to your point of they targeted a market that was more so a grassroots style, fuel fest style, hot pit style, and now more so they're not changing, they're just adding to what they have to offer, and that's more of a competition side. And I don't want to say all of it, but I think a lot of that was leveraged from me, just because I like winning championships, I like going out there and winning, and I thrive on competition. I want to get better, and to get better to me in drifting. Well, you can obviously do a lot of fun events, but I can.
You're a competitive
have solid data from competition. So I want to go compete and drive against guys that are better than me, because I'm definitely gonna get beat. I'm not gonna win all of them, but I can learn from those and then just get better myself as a driver.
100%. Couple. Sorry if you guys want to get in. I have a couple points, but you guys had something.
It's just a typical. I mean, you're only as good as your competition, so.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, a couple things. Obviously, you just won a championship, so we'll want to talk about that real quick. As of what was it, last weekend?
Got the hardware. Yep.
There you go. But yeah, so talk to me about running. Would you consider them grassroots competitions, or they your pro-ams and whatnot, and kind of how has that been the last couple of years? Because that's kind of been what you've been up to since leaving FD.
Yeah. So after we left FD, we jumped in. We still did some clutch kicker stuff, I believe, and then we got on once clutch kickers went on their hiatus. We went on to the Catch My Drift series with Joe Gorseski and a lot of their staff on the Carolinas that southeastern based, and really right now Carolina based. But he's had events that I've ran in North South Carolina and above and below in the past. But that the CMD competition series is I guess theoretically would be like a grassroots amateur. I don't want to say that's a bad name. Like more of a grassroots series, but it's not really. It's scratch all of that. It's in a category of its own. Think of clutch kickers, but in the Carolinas. Okay, and that's really it is. Because clutch kickers had a lot of Florida drifters. Yeah. CMD's like the same deal, where you have tons of pro guys coming out throughout the year. I mean, pro and pro spec are running. You have guys like Dustin Miles or Taylor Hall or Cole came out. Heck, who was out this last round? Yeet Fleet. I can't remember his.
Boss.
Alan Boss.
Yeah. Alan Boss. Yeah, he was out this round there, and there was.
Do any crazy tricks out there?
I didn't watch. I didn't watch a lot of. I was missing. When you're in competition, you're not watching a lot of it.
No. Yeah, it's just inside.
But no, so like, it's not a pro-am, it's not an amateur, it's not a, whatever. To me, it's just like they need to have like its own label for these events, because it's big payout.
Right.
And you have guys that are all the way from like a Miata all the way up to a full-blown pro builder go out there.
Right.
And you're not guaranteed to win. Like everybody that won this past round was like that hasn't competed in any pro-am before.
Right. No. 100%.
So I love it because of that. I really enjoyed doing that series because it keeps me fresh, because you have to learn what I like about you really have to learn chassis setup and understand your competition. And that to me is harder to do than going against FD where everybody's shit's fast as fuck,
Right.
Like you just throw everything at what you got in FD for the most part. Not obviously setup plays a role, but it's not
right.
here. And when you're running a series like there's Clutch Kickers was, or CMD, you have to set your car up for 150 horsepower car or another 1,000 horsepower car, and everywhere in between. So it to me is you really rely on your spotter and your crew to give you the data you need, and a reliable car is always a big thing. But the other drivers' lines, other people's powers, other people's quirks, or what they're doing, like it is very crucial when you're running against cars that have an 800 horsepower swing between top 32 and top 16.
Right.
Yeah.
And then every other tire in between too. So you really don't, you have to be up on your notes big time.
Interesting. And so like, is there a tire limit or a class or like a
to class or anything like that? So it's pretty open.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so, and Joe has asked and put out polls in the past for like, do you want to limit it to a 265? I can't remember the limits now, or like what tire do you want to go in, tread rating, and everybody's like, keep it open. Some people want a smaller tire, but
right.
To me, I think that adds to it. That dynamics of it. You show out there, go up on a 295/40, and your guy against this in a relatively style BMW on a 225, like, dude, you better be able to hold your car back. So there's positives and negatives of both of those. But I can't speak for the 2026 rule book and what Joe's changing for that.
Right.
But I hope he does keep it a 200. It is 200 tread. 200 tread, open tire size. To run what you run.
Gotcha.
So, which kind of makes it a little bit of an outlaw series to me, which I like that.
Interesting.
Because I ran the 240, which at some points this year made 1,100 plus, and then I've ran the Mustang, which made 300.
Right.
And won in both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a cool stat that you got there too, and obviously you still have the S chassis, but you've had a couple.
Yeah.
But this one, obviously, was this the one that you ran in FD, or was this a newer one?
This is my boo. I've actually had two. I had two different S14s. I piloted in FD.
Okay, gotcha.
This was the main one.
Gotcha.
The other one, I sold to another guy in South Carolina.
Gotcha. Yeah,
he still has it, but thing's not running more so than it is. But we ran it in between rebuilding the current S14.
Gotcha. Yeah. Obviously, for those who don't know, you had a pretty gnarly crash in that thing at LS Fest. That looked quite painful. It hurt a little.
Man, yeah, it hurt. Feelings were hurt. Mine more so than anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because it's just nature of what we're doing. You're pushing the limits, and it was my own. I mean, really, it was my own fault. I went to some settings on the shocks that I hadn't been before, past where we've tested on two things: tire pressure and shock setting. We left our range setup in, and I don't say left the range setup in there, but it was more so a range setup.
Yeah.
And then we just went a little more aggressive on the rear shock and tire pressure at the same time, past what we've done. And because I've just never needed that much grip, and it was something that we were getting close to the limit, and I was like, all right, let's go a little more. I want a little more because I really want to beat this guy. And when I initiated in, and when I jumped on throttle, it was a opposed to the car driving inside, it just went to a 4-wheel. I jumped on throttle in the car as opposed to doing this. It did this. It just did a 4-wheel slide. So the front pushed, back dropped in, and then when the back touched the wall, I just, you really couldn't much you do. I was trying to drive out of it, and it did not drive out of it. Back called, front brought in. Yeah. But it's all fixed and straight now, and I still got a bandage on my wounds, but
no, it's but that thing is pretty nuts, and I feel like you're the guy that's always had some wild setups in terms of suspension and everything on that car. Like watching this car try to drive straight on grid is hilarious.
Yeah, we got pretty gnarly over the years, and some of that's due to tire, and some of that's just just trying things. It was for the first handful of years I started drifting, I didn't try nothing. I just tried changing me, not the car. I took it to an alignment shop. I'm like, put a street setup in it. Let's go. And after we got after years, we started playing with suspension pickup points and shocks and different spring rates and shock settings and changing that within the shock, and just playing with a little bit of everything.
Right.
Caster camber toe, all the goodies, and front and rear, because a lot of stuff on the front affects your rear.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then when you don't got a tire, you got to do everything you can to make it a tire.
Right. No. You're true. In terms of setting up cars though and whatnot, I've always laughed because I've obviously filmed for you for many years. I've seen lots of in-car, and I like to compare. I like to do compare and contrast. So another guy I would film for is Dirk Stratton. So I'd see the in-car of you two, and you guys are totally opposites.
Really?
Him, it looks like you can take a nap in there because he's just so chill. And then you look like you're half the time on the literal edge of hands are going everywhere, just the way that you drive. And I'm just curious, is that just how you where you're at home, or kind of because I don't know how to describe that style other than you're not necessarily swatting bees because the car's still in control.
Yeah.
But it looks like you're going kind of crazy in there.
Chaos is calm.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's I don't know. Driving chaos outside, maybe a little chaos in the inside keeps me where I need to be. Yeah, I've it feels weird not doing nothing in the car. Like the Mustangs like that. My old Mustang, the 05 S197 that I was to do some competing in or some demos and stuff in.
Yeah.
It's set up real well. Aside, when it was in competition, we gripped it up. But anyway, typically for demo stuff, I'm in there just having fun, and it's a great fun car to drive because it picks up on throttle and it goes forward, and then almost no side bites, so you got to drive it on throttle. Yeah. And it is a super fun car to drive, but it's almost too simple. It's that car, that car particularly how we have the setup in there, and I don't know. It's probably my style. I feel like if I'm not doing something, it ain't going fast enough.
This car.
It's that's like the old commercial. If it's burning, that means it's working. But why does it need? It doesn't need to burn though. I feel like it really doesn't. I feel like you're just putting yourself through pain for you're a narcissist or not narcissist.
Damn, bro.
No, a masochist.
Masochist, yeah. No, but it isn't interesting that you kind of brought this car out for actual competition and was able to win a CMD round in it, making 300 horsepower. But this car's live axle.
Yeah.
And I've always kind of wondered, obviously competitive drifting largely is dominated by independent rear suspension cars. Outside of literally Chelsea Denofa's Fox body, and then obviously old RTR Vaughn, and I'm trying to remember if JTP had one of those Mustangs too. I know Beecham had
the Falcon car.
Yeah.
It's always old Falcon cars and stuff.
Yeah. So, but I'm curious. Obviously, you have some experience with the straight axle stuff, and you made it work. But is it easy to make work? Is there positives, negatives to straight axle stuff and drifting? Kind of what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, so it is an odd car to drive the first time. Just coming from an IRS standpoint, like with Nissans and Infinitis, whatever, all the standard cars nowadays, BMW. I've tested this theory because I let a lot of other people drive this car. I have an adjustable seat in it. It's on a slide. So I don't know. There's probably been maybe 10 or 15 other guys easily. No, probably 15 easily that have hopped in this car and drove it. But I give them a little heads up. I'm like, hey, the car's not going to respond how your car does. You let off throttle, it's going to keep floating or respond awkwardly. Drive the car on throttle. It's like if you ever get into a scenario where you're like scared, I'm going to go off or do something that doesn't want to do, I was like, dude, just stand on the throttle. It's going to drive out of it. Or it's going to set you, it's going to just keep you in drift. It's definitely a different feeling. But once you figure that out, it's freaking awesome. And I like to drive on throttle anyway. So
right.
The car doesn't feel as fun off throttle, and you're just out there, spinning out or floating way too far. If you pick up throttle earlier and drive on throttle more so, the cars works so good. And that particular car is really basic. Right. I mean, it has a nice set of two-ways on it from Silvers, and then just all the Synergy race development stuff like front and rear on it, and everything else, some adjustable arms, and that's about it, honestly. Like it's
right.
We got some, and the rest of it's just safety. Like it's
exactly.
It's two front, two rear, long tubes intake, stock trans, stock diff, welded, with 410 in it, and it's pretty light. I mean, relatively light compared to stock format.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
so when you're setting the car up though for, a live axle car, like what are some of the things that you have to take into account that you don't in IRS, or like or do you have to take less into account with an IRS car versus?
It really depends on how much anti-squat you want into it, and then spring rates and everything else kind of set. I mean, you put the amount of caster you want in it, and the easy part is from the Synergy kit stuff. Like he sends you like a starting point, and that's what I put in the car, and we haven't played with it.
Gotcha.
I think I've varied from that slightly, but spring rates is a big thing, and then just anti-squat. Gotcha. And everything else is, the rear set because it's solid axle, so you can just play with pinion angle stuff, and your lower control arm, and then your third, whatever that bar's called, upper link or upper control arm, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
it goes from the diff to the chassis.
Yeah. No. Interesting. Yeah, because.
Yeah, but it's pretty. They're easy. It's it's how much really on the rears. How much do you want off the hit? You want more or less. Less. You
a little bit simpler.
You add anti-squat, and it just gets more on you. It hits harder, quicker on throttle.
Yep.
Less side bite. You take anti-squat out. You got to it doesn't hit the forward bite doesn't hit as quick, and you kind of roll into it, and you got a little more side when you're off throttle. Pretty basic.
No, 100%. Interesting. Because would you consider, and this is kind of I don't know if this is a right question, but I was going to ask, if you were to build a Mustang for FD and could pick any generation, what generation would you pick and why?
What's the budget?
It's unlimited. It's a
brand new SSR.
Well, yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, so but to be competitive and stuff, I mean, would it be a new chassis or like, I guess, because what I'm curious, what I'm talking about more is like, getting into the debate of IRS versus,
solid axle versus IRS stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, to me, it's tough to say, but like the solid axle stuff's just simpler. You can add just a ton of forward drive in that joker and put a ton of power in it and freaking go run. It's especially with like the development with angle kits and stuff nowadays, and they're so simple to set. I mean, I don't say they're simple, but like they're lighter, they're
Yeah.
To me, it's easier to set up, and there's not a whole lot there. I don't want to sound stupid, say there's not a whole lot to them, but like there's less to setting it up than it is an IRS car, especially because like with your toe and camber on these IRS cars, like they're not centered up, and on the camber's not centered up, so you adjust one and adjust the other one. You start adjusting toe and then adjust camber, and you're going back and forth with the arms, and I don't know, just more so you got to play with it. And this big old bulky IRS, you know, it's tough. I mean, you have more adjustment to fine tune everything,
right?
But you know, solid axle, I just get even tire wear off the gate.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, because I guess let me put it this way. Then, do you have a favorite generation Mustang?
No. Yes, but no. I like them all for different reasons, man. They all have their place. You know, like every single one of them I'd have for a different reason. My heart now is definitely with the new SSR Drift, dude. I mean, it is just an unbelievable piece of machinery, and it looks so freaking good. Like you just feel like a whole different person driving or riding in that thing or looking at it. It is you just feel good about yourself. But you know, looks wise, I think it knocks all the rest of them out of the park. I mean, it may be just because it's fresh and new to me, and I'm just seeing those body lines each time. It just gets me going. But you know, I've had a bunch of new edges, which is like the 99 to 04 body style SN95. I've had quite a few 05 to 09 S197s. I don't think I've ever owned a 10, 11, 14 body style. I've had some early SM95, like 94 to 98. I always like 96, 98 because they still had the 4-valve or 2-valve in it.
Yeah. And
one chassis I had never owned is a Fox body. So I'll probably at some point have a Fox body. But like the Fox body is like a 240 nowadays. They're so expensive. I mean, it's like that generation, S13, S14, and then nice vehicles, nice 13, 14s, and nice Fox bodies are all like $20,000 plus, you know, whatever you want to, and up, depends on how much money somebody's put into it. So I'll probably buy some shit box one day, and
as you usually do, you know, you find
and then it turns into a gym. Well, that wasn't a shit box, but but you know that's pride into your work though. You know, don't get me wrong, I get tired. And I do like just hopping by. Like I just want to. Sometimes I just want to buy a car and enjoy it. But there's other times like, okay, this project I really want to build on. I really want to work with some of the guys and just take pride and enjoy the build process, because you know it always means that much more to you when you get done with it.
100%. Do you have, because you've had a ton of different cars over the years in drifting? Do you have a favorite that kind of comes to mind?
As far as drift cars, street cars.
Drift cars, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my current S14, man, that thing took me through a lot. You know, it's just more so memories with it over, you know, because it's been going we built it 10 years ago.
Right.
And in my crew chief's garage. And, I mean, with like a, you know, with a coat hanger and no, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, we were still learning stuff. And we built that car. That was the first ever car we built for SEMA. We built that as a SEMA build alongside X-Comp, which was Zena Tire, or not. That's their sister brand. But anyway, effectively X-Comp tires at the time. That was our first SEMA build, and our first time taking a car to pro. You know, we ran that car in FD Canada for 2 years, and you know it's been through like so many different stages of my career, you know, even in that, you know, FD Pro USA and FD Canada, and then kind of everything in between there. So that car is, I forget what we call it. One of the guys made a name for it, but it was like first and 15th, because it's always getting checks, you know, because it was like that car's won a lot of money, like in clutch kickers or even up at the Gambler, you know, the very first Gambler ever at that their figure 8
Oval,
deal.
I remember
we won that one. So that's probably been my favorite car as a whole, just because it's been to so many places with me and the team, and there's a lot of memories built with that car.
100%. Yeah. No. That's cool. Kind of transitioning into the kind of another point maybe is talk to me about the time at FD because it was an interesting time, I feel like, for you and your drifting career and kind of how just everything kind of ended up going and whatnot, and kind of what were some of the things that you've learned, after, doing the FD stuff for a couple of years?
Yeah. So, man, it was don't go too fast until you're ready. I'm not saying that was our case because we were absolutely ready, but there was certain things that changed for the second year that I should have known better about. So the first year going in, it was a COVID year, 2020. We came in with the Mustang, and we had some issues we've worked through since then. It was just stupid things that were taking us out. And I tried to navigate through those prior to that by running it as an exhibition car for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But right before we went in, we made some changes. We're like, all right, we're going to do a better ECU, we made a few changes, and we shouldn't have did that because we were having like drive-by-wire problems, the gas pedal problems. And it was just stupid stuff that was taking us out, which didn't allow us to get the time, the practice time we needed to go against. I was a rookie. It was my rookie season. I haven't drove these tracks before. I haven't drove against these drivers before. I have 0 notes on tracks, 0 notes on other drivers, minus what we were getting that weekend.
Right.
So that made it tough. So definitely we would go in fully tested, ready to rock and roll, like not playing around.
Right.
The next biggest thing, and we ended up doing that halfway through the year whenever the motor popped on the Coyote popped. We brought the two Old Faithful back, my old 240. Like we hadn't touched it in like years. Same engine, same train, like everything was the same for like 3 years, and didn't pull it out because we were just doing exhibitions with it.
Right.
We came out and it had like, I don't know, it was like a few top 8 finishes with our rookie year. I was really happy with how my rookie year went as a whole.
Right.
Because it was the same year Adam LZ came in when he finished like right in front of me for rookie of the year.
Yeah.
I think I finished 15th or 16th that year, and it was. First half of the year started out tough, but we finished super strong. I got to run Irwindale, which is, I'm so happy I got to run that before they tore down.
Yeah,
that was pretty epic track, especially at nighttime and having all the Type S lights and everything going on. It's just
it's hard to beat that ambiance.
Honestly, it really is like the hype, the feeling, like this.
It's so big.
Everything.
Like it really like it just felt like you were at like a championship round.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Absolutely did. But then we made a ton so after we did well in the S14, our rookie year, we made a ton of changes again. It was like a shot company. We made a big engine change, and we went in and we just had just stupid issues, and we had a terrible second year. Like it was just like money. 2 laps, 4 laps, I think we qualified everywhere, but sometimes barely. But also, even at that, my main thing I learned that year is don't go on a bullshit tire. Do not freaking show up to FD on a tire that's not going to cut it. I will never make that mistake again, ever. You see me go back in FD, it's going to be on something that's going to win.
Right. Yeah.
And the tire I was on in 2021 was not it. I don't care what you did. No, it didn't win.
Well, by the end of the year, I don't think there were many people running it.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah, just enough to keep him in that last round, I think. But golly, that I can't remember what the original question was.
But yeah, I mean, just learning from that experience.
Learning from So we'll definitely be fully tested and definitely be on the tire.
Is the goal to come back, or what's is that really a goal, or is it just a kind of a dream, or what's kind of it for you now? Because you have done it, So now the question is, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so like FD's not the end all. Like I enjoyed my time in FD, up until except when we were having issues. Like I like I said before, I love competition. So we're not opposed to going back for sure. whether we do or not is the direction and goals of some of the companies we're working with right now.
Right, 100%.
So, if we do, it's gonna be one. It's gonna be properly.
Right.
That's for sure. But with what we're doing now, like running like those CMD series, all the Fuel Fest that we're running, and like LS Fest, Hyper Fest, all these big events, what I accomplished in going through the career building up to now is, you build up to the highest level in USA, which is FD Pro 1. You establish those relations with the companies, and then you build and grow from that. Like most of the companies I work with now, nothing against FD, but they don't care if I go run or not. Like they don't give a shit if I'm running the Pro Series or not. Like I'm creating content for them, and I'm generating revenue for them. I'm selling product for them, and doing everything that they want to do without them having to spend a lot more money. Like our budgets can be a little less than we would go run less events. So we're doing more events for either the same cost or less, and we're driving 3 times as much.
That is a common argument of people not in FD and stuff. Like, you could just go to Pro-Am. Most of these guys, if they want to, could go to a Pro-Am round, get their license back, whatever, whatever.
Sure.
And then just go. But then, the cost of competition for that as a,
it's a balance, I definitely saying I don't want to go back. I would 100% go back next year. I enjoy the push it gives me.
Right.
Yeah.
I enjoyed competing in FD. I definitely go back, but it's at the same time, if the companies I'm working with in the direction they want to go, if that's not what they want to do, then I'm not pushing for it. It's all in what makes the most sense for them and my team and our goals and directions as well. So if that's the path that leads us, sure, you'll see me back in FT. I'm not opposed to that at all. The how many people were on site there, and then how impactful it was, and the current drivers list. I mean, there's a bunch of shredders on there, so absolutely, I'd like to bang around with them again. But for next year, that's not the direction we're going.
Right. Obviously, yeah.
Years to come, maybe see you there.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Phil
been brought
asks, sorry, go.
I was saying that it's not on the horizon. I guess we'll say that.
Right. Gotcha. Cool. All right. Phil asks, how much testing is enough or too much?
It's never enough.
I was gonna say.
I mean, really, you want to be able to show up and not have to touch the car. I mean, it depends where I don't know what level. Was it Phil?
Phil, yeah, he does it's the New Jersey
Gambler
stuff.
He drives the C6, and
I mean, until you're showing up in podium or dang near podium every event, I wouldn't bring the car, because if you can't beat the locals, you're definitely not gonna beat the pros.
Right.
And then is how reliable is it? Are you having stupid issues arise every event? And if that's the case, then again, it's not ready. If you can't finish 4 or 5 gamblers or 6, however many run in a year, without having a catastrophic failure, or something little that's taking you out every year, then to me it's not tested enough.
Gosh, yeah, 100%. And that I feel like when you weren't it was kind of the crazy paradox with you, that I've known you for so long, that what you were good at was having a reliable car until you went to FD.
100%. It was just the silliest thing, because we had that car, and in Canada we finished like 4th and 2nd or 6th and 2nd, whatever it was, and we would show up, hit every lap, pack it up, go home, clean them up, and go to the next one. It was one of those things. A handful of changes can be detrimental to a program, and we fought some stuff in 21 that it was we've done so much in those cars and tested so much. It was really, some of it was out of our hands. Yeah. We had like 2 or 3 bad power steering pumps, and as weird as that, as odd as that sounds, like we couldn't navigate through it. As odd as that sounds, like this can be a problem, you would know, like they were they were intermittent. Like they would come and then go, and we just had some weird issues in the steering. We were changing subframes, full steering systems, angle kits, racks, pumps, and it was like back to back things that we had that was bad, and it would kind of be intermittent how it would come, and we were kind of baffled for a handful, however many events, until we finally randomly put a new pump on, like from a different company. And everything just worked. It was just silly stuff like that. Some of it was out of our hands, some of it wasn't.
Yeah.
And some of it was just we made, quite a few changes to go from 650 horsepower to 950. And it was just, one of those things that we weren't planning on running the 240 until we were. And it was kind of, we had already obligated ourselves to the series. And again, I should have been smarter and did a lot more testing. But it was, how the cards fell on getting everything together for that year. We just didn't have enough test time to get where we need to be. Right. But it was one of those things like, okay, we've been piloting a S chassis for however long. We've been running the LS with a charger on it for how long. Everything we've been doing for so long, we just didn't think we was going to have, set issues. So.
Right. And the other thing is, obviously, leaving that series and doing your grassroots stuff. I mean, that's where you've shined is, obviously you're a good driver, the car is fast and all that stuff, but it also works, unless you put it into a wall. But no,
that's my man Nate. Always give me the most crap on everybody.
One of them bigger jobs.
Yeah. No, but in terms of drifting as a whole, I kind of put you in a category of the Americanized drifter, where you're more about the competition than it is more necessarily the what's even the word, the art of drifting, or just doing it for fun, or just driving with friends. For you, you're in it for the competition side, and that's kind of an interesting side, because drifting is one of the unique motorsports where it's not always a motorsport. Sometimes it's just a party. And so, I'm not saying that's not fun, but it's, for you love the competition side, and kind of like
I have to have it.
Give me your perspective on like drifting as a whole when it comes to that whole side, and how you kind of, fit yourself in there.
Well, I approach drifting as a job. I don't want to say that in a bad way, but a way to brand myself and work with partners and build and grow and be able to make money off of it. And some of that is professionalism and how we run our team. But the other part of it is I'm not a what do you call it? As a creator, what's the word?
Like content creator per se, or like
the YouTuber guys or whatever. Influencer, yeah. So I built it off. I'm a generation before the influencer, so I built it off of that. And I want to be able to do this and not just be spending just all money out of my pocket. I want to treat it as such, and if it's not just a party thing to me, and most companies aren't just looking to invest money in a party, or unless I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always your target, what the companies want to do, but the way I work with it, I just approach my my partnership side kind of like I do the competition side. That's what I guess I work with them on that aspect, and I'm just not out there partying. I go in there, I show up, I want to compete, and then it's like hard data that I can give them. We're not just like, this is a big event, we're going to party. But so that's like more so lightly like the business side of stuff of it. But me as a driver, I want to show up and compete like I mentioned earlier. I want to get better, and the only way I do that is a guy against the other guys that take it seriously, and they're not just out there just having quote unquote fun. Yes, I enjoy the fun events, getting rowdy with the boys, going to do demos, exhibitions. That is all fun and all, but I got to have a competition side first and foremost, and then I'll build the rest of my season off around that.
Yeah, 100%. And with that being said, like when you're in a competition, you're one of those guys that I feel like has never struggled with the mental side, or at least not that I've seen.
I don't let anybody know it.
I know.
It's tough. I have my own tricks, and it's something that it takes being in that scenario to be able to work through it or figure it out, for yourself, because everybody's different. Everybody gets something else, makes something click in their head of, okay, like, it's not a big deal. It's just drifting. We're just going out having fun. It's just, all these people watching me, and I'm in a competition, and all of a sudden my nerves are worked up and racked out. Yes, I've, with driving, because I've been driving competitively for about 15 years now, and it's one of those things that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and that's like being in front of a camera. Some people, somebody turns a GoPro on in front of them, and I'm guilty. I used to, Nate, I would suck. Like, cut, take 10, cut, take 50, cut, see you tomorrow. Go practice, come back. No, but yeah, it's just one of those things you get comfortable with the more you do it, and just putting yourself in that environment gets you more comfortable, and you figure out, okay, I had a bad day today, what did I do? I had a great day today, what did I do? And you have to figure out a way to get yourself in that mental mindset every time you go out competitive drifting, because it's it is one of the hardest things that I had to overcome, and I still deal with it. I just, again, I have my thing I do, and then it gets me back into like, all right, let's go rip their heads off.
Yeah. Now, do you have a highlight so far in your career that you have a favorite?
Is this a moment?
Yeah, a moment.
As far as a moment in my career,
a battle or a.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty epic. Again, with my past with Vaughn and RTR team, and working on his team for a while, and he was my mentor more or less for some years, and we still talk, relatively regularly, and we're still friends. He lives right down the road from me, so I love the guy. But it was pretty monumental to me is my very first run in Formula Drift. Going from working on his team, running FD Canada, to partnering with Shelby on some things. It was just cool to see my very first competition run ever in top 32 at St. Louis in 2020 was versus him. So that was a pretty special moment in my career. Just because I look up to the guy. He was a pretty influential on my career coming up.
100%.
And helping me, understand on and off track things. 100%. So to run him, obviously, I don't say obviously, but he beat me. It was my, I only had a handful of laps at the track that weekend, and he had that RTR hooked up. But that was a pretty cool moment in the career. Next, it's gonna come down to just wins and sitting on podiums.
Oh yeah,
just winning some championships. That's always been highlights. I guess coming from competitive nature.
Yeah,
your highlights are championship stuff, like this year with CMD, and this year's been an awesome year for me.
100%.
Me and the team, we've grown and just done a lot of events together. The rest of the Mustang boys.
100%.
That I mentioned earlier. We've traveled a lot this year. We debuted in a big partnership with Shelby and XComp on this new SSR drift build, and taking on the CMD championship this year. So and then next week, in what's today? Tuesday. Yeah, and in a few days, me and my spotter Mike were leaving to go to Puerto Rico to compete down there with Club Darren. I know I pronounced that wrong, but there's like their final competition down there. And it's called the event's called Renfest.
Yeah.
And it's with XComp tires, and I'm actually in a rental GT86 car that I haven't drove yet with a 1J. So I'm really excited to get into that car.
That's cool.
And hopefully we'll finish how we finish, but obviously I want to go down there and win.
Yeah, right.
And then we'll be finishing up the event the year with Fuel Fest in Phoenix. So yeah, it's it's been an awesome year.
Hell yeah. Puerto Rico, that'll be a fun one. What have they told you about that so far? I don't know much about Puerto Rico drifting.
So I know that it's like a streetcar, more of a street class series that they're running down there. I know Puerto Rico used to be pretty serious because I had a couple boys that lived down there that were from there that drove in the past here, the Streetwise Drift Series, which is old, and they went running to Pro Spec, I believe, or Pro 2, whatever it was at the time. Lazardi brothers.
Yeah.
And they were pretty serious coming out there. They're some monsters. So as far as what to expect, we've only talked pretty vaguely, but I know it's not like they're like a pro series. It's I believe, I don't want to say it's been a setback, but it seems like they're rejuvenating and regrouping a lot of their drifting. Regrowing a lot of stuff because it's probably done a lot of this number. And I think it's on the growth side of things again, from my understanding.
Yeah. Interesting.
And it's I don't think the competition. There may be like a top 16 going on out there, but it's more of a street class. So, but I'm looking forward to it.
Really. Are you using your car?
No. So
I didn't think so, but yeah.
Yeah, they got a rental car. There's a car. One of the gentlemen down there is letting me borrow. It's again, it's a GT86 with a 1J.
Oh yeah, we'll change of pace. A little more butt kicks going on, bro.
I drove one JZ in competition in the past. I say one JZ.
Well, yeah,
one, two JZ, but I've done it one time.
JZ.
In the past, and actually won that competition. It was in the S14.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
They're great. It's just obviously they're both great.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, I feel like, which path do you go down first, and being also American man, end up with with more bald eagles. So.
Yeah, all the Eagles.
Yeah.
No, but it is interesting. I guess you bring up, Herbie does bring up a point of, you've always, at least on the competition side in your big cars, you've always been route style blower, I think, right?
LS. So it's early on. I had a KA. Starting on the S14. Start off with. Yeah. We blew, we turboed it. It went standalone with AM, and we couldn't ever keep an engine in that thing. It was I'm investing all this money to build these freaking 4-cylinders. Meanwhile, I've already built LSs. I had a WS6 Trans Am. I'd already built LS prior to drifting.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, after we popped another motor, my crew chief. He wasn't at the time. He was actually just a good friend I worked with, which turned into my crew chief after that day because we popped another 4-cylinder, and then I had an LS that was already built, was going in my Trans Am, put it in and we decided we're putting this in a 240, and that's what we're doing. And this was 2011, 2012 maybe, and we haven't looked back since then. We ran a couple years in a LS, and then from then on, once we partnered with Magnuson in I think 2013.
Right.
I think it was 2013. We partnered with Magnuson a long time. I think if we weren't the first, I'm fairly certain we were one of the first to be sponsored by Magnuson in drifting.
Right.
Because they had a brand new LS7 blower that they had just come out with the Heartbeat. They had just came out with that they were wanting some testing done, and we actually met them at PRI and got to talking, and we went from there. But ever since then, to me, and everybody's gonna have the argument, but to me, there's not a better setup. A lot of guys will argue the belt. I'm like, well, okay, great. Well, Wegner Automotive, guy we've been working with for 10 years, they'd make a dual belt drive that you put you have a supercharger belt, 8 or 10 ribs charger belt, and then you have your serpentine belt, your accessory drive belt, which is 6 rib, and and there's your belt problems. Bye. I had the same belts when we were just doing demos and stuff in the S14 on the same belts on there for 3 years. It became a running joke. Okay, how long will these things actually last? And I ended up breaking a serpentine belt 3 years into, 3.5 years into it or something, just for fun. Because it didn't matter if we was in an exhibition. If a belt came off, then we just put another one on there.
Right.
So, but yeah, our belt problems, and then they make so much power, especially with the big V8 and the Charger, it makes so much power. You don't really notice heat soak. I don't, at least. There's never been a time where I'm I wish I had some more power. It's I'll just turn the boost up, but it makes, with a positive PDS blower and, either LS or Coyote, pick your displacement. It comes in so hard, so fast. like 2,000 RPM. Put it in perspective, like that new the Dart LS Next setup I have. It's a 427 with that new Gen 6 Whipple. It made like 800 and it was low 800 foot-pounds of torque at like 2,000 RPMs.
Wow.
Like as soon as you jumped on the throttle, it was like right up, and then it peaked at like 920 torque or 900 low 900 torque, and it made 1,100 some horsepower. And that was on like 14 or 15 pounds of boost. We could turn it down or up. It can easily. We could have turned, I think, about 24 pounds of boost is like reliable.
Yeah.
20 is like super reliable, and 24 is like where you're getting
pushing
out of some of its peak range.
Yeah.
But it's not necessary. But again, the power curve is so wild. You can play with, you can set you're kind of go away with gear ratios. You can kind of play with gear ratios a lot less because you have the power wherever. So it's a little more forgiving.
Interesting. Yeah, and like you said, I was going to point out, in FD, all I see are belt issues with root style blowers, and then I've never seen you have a belt issue.
Ever. Ever. Dude, Wagner Automotive, man. We've been working with them for like 10 years. And because, again, we were having belt issues. The first year we went with the PDS blower.
Right.
We went, like a 6 rib, forget that. Like we were running, we kept running like low boost. We would just do like a bigger displacement engine and lower boost or get crazier with the cam. So to make the power to where we keep belts on. So, we'd have like a 408 cubic inch or a 427 and a big ass cam in it. And for not really proper for a blower, but we were using less boost and more engine to make the power we were wanting to make. And, we went to 8 rib setup, but we were still having issues. Like it would move up and cut a rib down, or, we have to replace every handful of runs, put a belt on it. And our bill for the end of the year was like way too much. Forget a bumper budget, talk about a belt budget.
Yeah.
So, we were going through belts like crazy. And whenever we linked up with Wagner and got that dual belt drive, that changed the game. And I wasn't at the point of giving up, but it was like, it was tedious to keep belts on the cars.
100%. No, that's a big challenge. And like I said, we were talking about earlier with reliability and everything. It's like if you can make that power last, like that's huge. And I mean, obviously you've now. The cool thing is, since you've been in the game for so long now, you kind of been able to pick out companies that work and their products work, and you've been able to even help develop a lot of products with different companies and over the years and stuff. What are some of the new stuff, or just not necessarily new stuff, but what is some of the products that you have helped kind of develop and change over the years with different companies? I always like to hear kind of how companies give you stuff to test and work, and some of those stories.
Let me just look through some of the companies. I mean, one of them was Wagner. So
right, I know.
We were one of the first ones to run, especially in drifting. They had a couple guys that ran some of their stuff, I believe, throughout the years. But whenever they had new kits out, because we work with Whipple and Wagner have a really good relationship, and they do a lot of stuff. They work with those guys directly on a lot of different builds and whatever else, and that we would test some of their product. And one of them was the development of their 3-liter setup with their dual belt drive. And there's a couple changes that we made, and a street car guy may not see what we're seeing, so there's a couple of changes that we made to optimize their setup, and they made the changes. And this, I think it's what they're offering today.
Right.
It was a pulley size and a slight adjustment to one of their bracketries. But I mean, those guys are super smart. They would have, after their prototype ones, they would have figured it out anyway. But we just kind of helped mainstream that, or mainline that.
Yeah, and Phil's also got another question when you get a sec too.
Coilovers, silvers.
Yeah,
we've worked with them on different dampenings, shock lengths, different setups. There's like a Nerren S14 coilover. So.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like just all of, it's just like, what is it, like a 5K or something?
What spring?
Yeah, right. It's just all of the squat.
What dampening? no rebound and no shot. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so we've developed on different. We play with the Silver's coilovers. We've helped develop some of their stuff, and not necessarily like their stuff off the shelf works, because like we're running their shelf stuff on the current 650.
Yeah.
It's just off the shelf 2-way stuff, just new spring rates.
Yeah.
And I'll take it back. I lied. We changed stuff on it. And it's just some shock lengths.
Right.
And we're actually still in development on some future stuff with Silvers as well.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So that's going to be stuff to come. So you can stand by for that.
Yeah.
And some stuff with Synergy Race development, and then some stuff with Silvers, coilovers. We have some development stuff going on and some changes, and more. Some of it's optimized for drifting, some of it's optimized for me, and some of it's optimized for our setup, and a little bit of everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
Nice.
Awesome. And Phil asks, what's something you do that helps keep the team together? Because you do have a team that sticks around you for a long time.
I don't like those dudes. Nah. It's team building stuff. Sometimes, you have to do things that make it worth staying around. Because as everybody knows in this sport, whether it's shooting a whole weekend, you're behind the lens. Like the monotony is real. Sometimes it gets boring. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. Sometimes it gets stressful. And, you have to find ways to keep everyone together, because, you got to have the common mindset, and you can't have one guy trying to outshine or outdo others. And as far as, like, trying to do his own thing, you have to have – your mind's got to work together. So you have to be on the same page. Communication is huge. Me and the guys, we talk – man, I talk to Bauer and Mike 3 times a day already. But we talk a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not, and I won't say every day, but damn near. And we have team meetings just to discuss day-to-day stuff or directions. A big thing that I've done throughout the years when I've had guys helping on the team is at the end of the year, like at an event, like, okay, competition's done. It's just fun stuff. I got a bunch of burnt scrubs. I'll take these guys. We'll go to a track event just at like I would go to MB Drift or some CMD stuff, or Piedmont, like around here, the Carolinas. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We go out there, and I'd have the crew guys hop in my car and go out and drive. I didn't either. There was one year I think I instructed like 7 dudes, and a chick. So we had them. I put them in the car, and like some guys had 0 drifting experience. They were like just crew guys, like turning wrenches.
Mm-hmm.
I instructed them. You got to I would teach them some controlled donuts, some figure 8s, how to initiate a drift, and like before they were done, these guys I ain't saying they were shredders, but like they knew a heck of a lot more about drifting and understood car control way more than they did at the start of the day. And to me, that like not only did that was a cool aspect. They're driving $100,000 pro car that now they understand what I'm talking about too. It like honestly it helps the team build and make you guys stronger. Makes it like a cool story for these guys to say, hey, I drove a badass car. How often you get to go rip on a 1,000 horsepower or 800 horsepower, whatever it is, car, and said go have fun. So like little stuff like that really I think goes a long way. And then also picking when you can involve some of these guys in growing with some of the avenues you're growing in. So one of them, it's involving these guys in growing with you. You kind of establish yourself a little bit, and then bring these guys in to grow with you as it makes sense. The guys got to feel like it's I don't want to say it's a fair, but it's you want to make it entertaining, you want to make it fun, and you want to support growth.
Yeah, like a family.
Yeah.
100%. And we got a question. Why'd you name your YouTube show the same as the FD podcast? You want to tell them that?
Go check the records, dog. I was there first.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's like
No, so he has
It's not
a
even the
he has a
same-
YouTube.
Oh,
his
you.
YouTube
Oh.
series
Yeah.
is called The Outer Zone.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
All right. Sorry,
I started
Powerful Lamb.
that a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Nate.
Yeah, long time ago, and you know, it is what it is. But
Yeah, no,
it-
I mean it's.
it-
I mean,
Is-
I don't have a big YouTube presence.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a big deal. I'm not like
Yeah.
trying to fight him off for it. And he ain't trying to fight me off for it. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, if he wanted the rights to everything, I don't care.
yeah, it's just one of those things. It was kind of
It-
funny
it
when he
just
came
so
up with the name.
happened.
It was like, what the hell?
Yeah,
but I mean, it's kind of a
yeah,
common name, you know. Like if someone was
Boundless Racing message retracted.
Hey, I didn't say anything, I swear.
You're a bitch.
yeah,
It's all right
Yeah.
to be wrong. You just leave it up, bitch.
It's fine.
no,
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
we had
I'll
it
put it
up.
back up.
We came out with the Outer Zone. I mean, me and Nate, like a couple years before, like the actual Outer Zone was a thing. We
Right.
seen that coming out, and I was like, damn, good name though.
yeah, no. It's just an easy way to kind of categorize all the big videos that we do over the years. So that's just kind of that's all it really is at this point. But no, I mean, like it was super fun this week or last, what was it, 2 weeks ago now at SEMA, filming you guys and kind of seeing that end of it. And it was actually my first time going to SEMA, not working a booth at SEMA.
So much better.
It's a little different experience. It was a lot of fun. I certainly enjoyed it and the way that we actually were like part of the fun part of SEMA, the show part, you know,
Right.
showing all the drifting and whatnot. It was a good time. But yeah, I wanted to also hit up Herbie a little bit. Getting close time here, but I did want to get quick hit up Herbie. How, since we haven't had a chance to talk to you about like SEMA, like you got to do some really cool stuff there, and you also went over to Freedom Factory last weekend.
I did do that. Got to experience a long-time dream, getting to meet some of those guys, and especially like see his facility and how far it's come since when he actually got it, and you know all the work that whole team and everything that they've done, and then that event is just fucking ridiculous, dude.
And which event is it again? Just so the chat
is
knows.
the 2.4 hours of Le Mullets. I think this is his 4th year, and that includes, I think there were 20 different Crown Vics that they had out there, which is not the most. They've had like 76 Ultimas on that track at one time before. So
Holy smokes.
yeah, that I forget what that actual event is called, but that I look forward to hopefully going to that one day too. But anyways, so you got that. So there were a bunch of just between NASCAR drivers, Supercross rider there, Bucky Lassick, which I mean, you know,
Yep.
like, you know,
The dog.
yeah. So Carson Hocevar, Michael Waltrip, for those that know a little NASCAR, Greg Biffle, Aaron Plessinger, the Supercross rider. There was Carson Brown that ended up riding doing Van Prix, which I'll get to. That shit was so cool. Like it was just so silly and like so much chaos. The pyrotechnics were crazy. Just the vibes were great. People were great. The crowd's just having a blast watching a bunch of just like their icons just have fun, and then so they do their qualifying, and then they do the Van Prix, and that is just the most reckless, stupid, awesome thing that I could ever watch. Like it's like, all right guys, there's a Joker lap and you have to hit the jump once, like at least one time.
Right.
Everybody just keeps hitting it. Like it's like they do one normal lap, and then it's like it takes one person to finally just be like, fuck it, dude, like I gotta hit it at some point.
Yeah.
And it's typically, I guess it's the second lap, and then everybody else just follows suit, and then they just all keep doing it. I think 2 vans at the end of this ended up pulling off the track. The rest all had to be forklifted off.
Oh my god.
So it was just, and then like their cleanup process was like, because they're they host these high-end drag racing events right next door, like to the oval. So like their clean crew was just on top. Like it was insane. There was so much fluid all around, like fires going on, like, and that shit was done within 10 minutes. Whereas like, you know, FD, we would have been there for a little bit of oil on the ground for a good 25.
Right.
So like kind of crazy to see that. And then, you know, monster truck fucking shit going on like for like in between. And then yeah, you know, we did we did the podcast there with Cletus, so like that was
that's pretty sick.
That was like, you know, getting to really like just hear even more. Like you know, we all, if you watch him, like there's you could pretty much tell what he's doing on a day to day. And honestly, being there, he literally just does stuff. Like 1 second you know he's here, next second he's up in the helicopter, next second he's like pulling in and doing donuts on some shit for no reason. It's like what a dream. What a dream.
Right. No, it's
and they're all they're all great people. And genuinely, they are exactly how like they show themselves. Awesome people, and I'm thankful to have gotten to actually meet a lot of those dudes. Great event. I can't wait to go back for Freedom 500 or whatever the hell the next one may be that I get to go back to, because 10 out of 10, that I think was the best thing I've ever gotten to experience. It was a redneck dream. It was truly a fucking redneck dream.
Yeah, that van that did like an endo and rode it for a while,
dude. Like and Pastrana was there. He's like, I don't think that guy realizes how close he was to fucking dying.
Right? Dude, he rode it out from wild.
Yeah, like, he's like
100 feet or something.
Yeah, dude, I was like, you know, on that bank, turn fucking turn 3. And I'm like, jeez, dude, like this is crazy. Oh hell yeah, I got so much crazy footage from that. I just kept shooting because no matter, like, you could turn any way and it's just like, fuck, good. Dude, another, like, what the hell is going on? Like between the crowd, like all the people like standing on turn 3, you know, the ones that like, because it was a team, you know, there were 2 drivers per car. And they did like a Monza style fucking run to the car at the beginning, and sick. So then like they're all hanging out up there with us, so like getting their reactions to just the pure chaos, like what? That's just it was so fun.
What are some of the production stuff that you would like to see implemented in other events? I'm just curious because, like, obviously the cleanup is I'm very interested on the cleanup side, because that had to be a giant mess, right?
So it was. I mean, for sure. A lot, like especially the Van Prix. Like I said, so what they had was just a simple attachment for the rear end of a fucking pickup truck that then like 2 dudes just sit there in the back and keep filling the thing with the kitty litter, and the guy just goes and it puts it out like a nice little layer, and you have the dude come by and just blow it out or whatever, you know, and you do it as many times, like a couple of passes, but I'll tell you how much faster that is than a couple of dudes that go out there and have to do it by hand or this, that, the other thing, you know, or sitting on the tailgate and like pouring it off nice, you know.
Right.
Dude, the pyrotechnics were crazy. Like the fact, like I have no idea what he has to pay for insurance, but it has to be astronomical because that shit was insane, like actually insane. And like just all the other, like, I don't want to say bullshit because it was awesome, but all the other stuff that's going on, and like I don't, like, I'm standing right on the edge of glory. It's just like debris is flying everywhere. Like I'm putting my squinters on and just standing there, and like I'm like, well, if I get hit by something, I'm gonna remember it. Hopefully, I'm alive. But like, what? Yeah, but yeah. So like, the speed of the show, like there was really never any moment of just like, all right, what are we doing? Even like when like they were cleaning up, like the fact that there was so much shit that they had to clean up. There's just these little groups all over the place, like picking up this, like looked like a Mad Max scene. It's like all of this just debris and just like these vans getting just fork chopped out of here by these machines. And yeah, so the fireworks show, yeah, and then Saturday, they had the burnout competition, and that was just, I don't care who you are, dude, when you're in a little stupid burnout thing and you got like Aussie dudes and just pure, or the Aussie dudes are just ridiculous. I don't care. Americans are awesome and whatever, but those dudes, when it comes to burnouts, I don't understand. They just get born with some like wild hair up their ass, like, we're gonna put a fucking blower on this thing and we're gonna fucking do some sick ass skates down the road for no fucking reason. And meanwhile, we're like, yeah, like we could do a fucking burnout, but like we kind of want to like do it on a track, And they're like, well, we're gonna do it on a track too, but we're gonna do a burnout at 130 miles an hour in a straight line. And then
it's pretty good right there.
That was so good.
So
it's pretty spot on. You've been practicing that?
Many years.
That's awesome. I was like, that's definitely respectable.
Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons. So like, but yeah, even that, dude, like I was just like cracking the fuck up the whole time. Like these dudes just beating their shit up for the love of the game, and it's just so funny to me. Like they go out there well knowing that is the sole purpose of that vehicle, is just to just blow it potentially up, just sitting on the fucking rev limiter for a minute and a half. Like, okay, hell yeah. I am here for it, brother.
It just ticks that thing in your brain of just,
dude. And then like as it keeps going on, like, at the beginning it's like, yeah, it's cool, whatever, it's fun, like, but then as the day goes on and the people get the liquor flowing, and like, and the bigger dogs come out. Who knew there's classes of burnouts? But there's classes of fucking burnouts. And once the master class came out, that shit was it was master class. Who knew? Who fucking knew?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was just I could spend forever there, honestly. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, I like I said, can't wait to go back. So
yeah,
if anybody gets the chance, go to fucking Freedom Factory. You will not. I don't care what event it is. I guarantee it's gonna be fucking awesome. That shit is insane.
That's funny.
Garrett has built himself a fucking goddamn fine establishment. Him and Alan.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like he did the clutch kickers thing for a year and didn't really pan out, and it was like I was curious to see if like the drifting stuff would kind of work on his side of the internet, I guess you could say. But I mean,
I think that FD should go there one of these days. When he gets that, when he figures that he's trying to figure out some things, how to like resurface the oval, like the actual circuit. Okay. But the problem with it is it's so balanced right now. There's not like there's not upper hand to certain levels of like, certain things, and how much fucking money it's going to cost.
Right.
But I think if that were to happen, if somehow FD can get there, like there's great seating, there's plentiful parking. It's I think pretty easy to get to. The roads are beautiful, so like for trailering in, it's not bad. Like,
no, I mean the question is how, because I think we were kind of talking about this a little before the show, and like, because Cletus would be such an amazing asset for drifting, but he really doesn't do a whole lot of it anymore because I just don't think it like really sold well on his channel per se.
He's got so many other cool things, like drag, like the NASCAR drag racing, and like, and he still does showcase drifting by doing it in a silly way. Hard park to spark, the hard park, the S650, and like then blew out had to call Vaughn on and like apologize that he just hit the giveaway car or the rental car basically, and then had the so like he still has obviously a love for drifting, but I think that boy's got so many
other things,
so many cool things going on that like it's just another fun thing. I don't think there's a purpose for him to take it seriously. I'd rather see him take NASCAR serious, honestly.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that would be sick. Like if he actually did a full season and like actually can show that he means business. That would be cool. That would be cool. It's just mad expensive.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it sounds like it sounds like it's a really cool experience, and the reason I was asking kind of about the show and stuff is just because like I'd love to try and take FD into that level of, or just drifting in general, getting it into the zeitgeist of something like that, because his stuff gets millions and millions of views when he does
and he created his own pay-per-view fucking thing, and like I think it's $20 to watch. What's that?
It saved him. Like
that's what he had. Yeah, he had to come up with something. So I mean, created that, and honestly, like it's not even like you look at it, and there's a lot of money in the production. Like that, like you look at how many different like cameras, this, that, like those type, but like the cameras themselves, like he's not using the high, some telecat, like
how
whatever.
Would you compare it to the FD live stream?
So he actually his internet actually went down during this live stream, and he actually offered everybody at the end a refund, like because it came back on. They ended up using his Starlink, he said, because it just wouldn't come back, and it was running off the Starlink. He couldn't see what the quality was, and he did say like if anybody wants a refund, like you're all welcome to a refund. But so.
Interesting.
But I think overall it's typically pretty dang good. But like I was trying so the cameras themselves I don't think are like the crazy expensive. But with that, this motherfucker's everything else that like I would watch this on an iPhone stream, as like with the good internet, like everything that else like is there is so worth it. It's fast, like I said, fast paced. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Plays like some tunes in the background, but honestly, you hardly can even hear it because the crowd's just like all just chatting amongst themselves. If there's like cleanup or a caution flag or whatever, like it's live. Like you got Larry Mack on the motherfucking goddamn radio. Like, dude. I listened to him. I've been listening to that motherfucker on the TV since I don't even remember. My mom and dad used to watch NASCAR, and I was just a newborn listening to Larry McDonald on the goddamn TV, and I got to shake that guy's hand. Like what in tarnation? Like that is what is great, and like I love
amazing.
I wouldn't want to change Jared out. I wouldn't. I like what FD has. But like that's like Cletus did a great thing. He
put money in the right places is what it sounds like.
And he's got a great team. Like you got to give props to all the other people because like he's a content fucking king. So he has like no time to like really ultimately do all those like ins and outs. Like so he's just an idea man as he's also just cranking content. So
100%.
Yeah. Everybody should go. It was $40, like dude, for like the sickest of it. Like $40 ticket for all day at this chaos. Hell yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Like fucking hell yeah. Yeah. So.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean it's such a different demographic, but again, it's like that's really cool.
Yeah,
Well,
it definitely was a reminder. Florida is like definitely a land of the free. I fucking and hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, they speak it interesting, just their own language out there. I will say that.
It definitely it brought me back a little. It brought me grounded.
Yeah.
It was like a fresh a little reset. I
Yeah,
love the
yeah.
West Coast too, but I am more
Oh,
of a
hell yeah.
different style.
Big East Coast guy.
Big East
Yeah.
Coast guy.
Yeah. Well, we have hit the 2-hour mark, so I want to get a couple final remarks. We'll hit you, Nerren, at the end. But Brandon, what's going on with you in Boundless?
Oh, we're just doing the thing, just working and all that. Currently running a little Black Friday sale on the turnkey stuff, with the complete rigs and all that, and then sorting some logistics for things, the boring stuff, but the things that need to be done. But yeah, just working a lot, really. And then esports season starting up, so getting that all going again, with a couple of my drivers and myself.
Oh yeah, you gonna do it or what?
Yeah, well, the first rounds,
you're just bitching and moaning about
first rounds on the weekend of PRI, which is kind of unfortunate because I was thinking about going to PRI, and now I gotta.
I'm going now.
Okay, it's gonna be a toss between the two. I do want to go to PRI, so might have to skip that first round, but
just bring a sim with you.
Yeah,
Just do it at one of the booths. Just compete at one of the booths.
Yeah, why not?
Because they don't have Wi-Fi there.
Well, yeah, they do.
No, they don't. It's $1,000 a day for Wi-Fi there, and it's like 3 up, 3 down. I'm gonna have 3 million ping.
I guarantee somebody's gonna have a Starlink.
Yeah, you could.
They don't allow Starlink.
I swear. Are you serious or not?
I think you're the excuse king.
All right, whatever.
Did you pick your car yet?
Huh?
You picked your car, right?
Yeah, it's an E36.
Okay. Okay.
Herbie was rooting for a Mustang, but
or a C6, like something American, dude.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, RTR has quite a few cars this year. I probably shouldn't have said that, but they have quite a few cars this year, and I couldn't drive a 650, and I don't have a 550. I only have a 650, and I didn't want to step on RTR's, whatever, because they're doing whatever they're doing. So
let me just choose a lamer car.
How many drivers? Like, do they have a bunch of drivers this year?
They have 4.
They have 4 drivers. Holy smokes!
Yeah, 4. Yeah.
And this is just for VDC, or are there other series that
just for VDC?
Okay, gotcha.
Virtual stuff.
Look like you need to put one of them Shelbys in there.
Yeah.
What's the rules of that? Like, how do you get cars? Like, somebody's got to build them, or they got to be a
it's all 3D modeled, and then like the tech of it is you have to use their physics, and the engine has to be approved through them. So they have like a whole suite of engines, or you can give like a dyno graph with like all your like nitrous and all that stuff, and have it like be programmed in. And then also like the car aspect, like the 3D model, there's a certain amount of objects you could have within the car, and then the size of the car, there's a limit to it. But it's pretty simple to get under it. It's like 800,000 triangles, which is like in the 3D modeling software. Nerd shit anyway, but yeah, it's pretty simple to get any car in.
Yeah. And
do you know, is there an optimal engine package, like, do most guys like it? Most guys like the turbo setups, or is it a big V8 supercharged, or just big V8s in general, or
big V8s these
days?
They're
used to be the Coyotes, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Coyotes are big. Coyotes are big. I'm running an LS with something, I think a Vortec, and then there's another LS with a big supercharger, and people are liking that. It used to be big, like everyone used to run VR38s and then 2Js and then B58s, and now it's like a good mix of everything. A lot more V8s now.
Right.
It's less like the
love that,
like the turbo cars on the game, on the sim.
Yeah.
They just stall so like in moments where they genuinely shouldn't. And I
It's
understand,
way worse
obviously.
now. It's terrible now. They redid everything, like how boost works, and they have actual nitrous now, which is through the KERS system, like within the game, like an F1 KERS system. So like nitrous actually works. Like the RY45 now fucking blows so bad. It's terrible. It's just like it makes 700 wheel without nitrous, and then if you add nitrous, it comes on
1300.
like, yeah, it's like 1300, and it comes in like super late. So it's just an absolute dog to drive. It's terrible.
Hell yeah.
You do that nigga on. Get that dart and Whipple package I got. I'm
yeah. Yeah. There's a certain FD driver by the name of Nick Novak. That motor package they took, and it's in with his 4.5 liter Whipple, and that thing's pretty good. It's pretty good motor package right
dyno
there.
Curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously I'm just curious, how different are all the cars to drive in comparison when you get into the suspension nitty-gritty? Can you get each car to drive pretty much the same, or is it that like that hard?
It's very different now. Like it's actually like each car has its own characteristics. Like the overall, like if it's strut or if it's trailing arm or if it's dual wishbone or whatever, like that has its own characteristics, but each car is definitely a lot different now. And you can get a lot more grip out of each car now. So it's like I'm driving an E36 with a trailing arm, and it's very fast. And it's like if I put, not enough boost in it like before, I could just clutch kick a couple times and it keeps going. Now it will like not spin very well, like an actual like pro car, which is pretty cool to see. But yeah, it's getting a lot better. So
that's neat.
Cool.
We'll see. We'll see all the bitching and moaning, the double B.
Yeah, whatever.
You Brandon and Brandon,
whatever.
Out there blaming their cars.
Nah, dude, I'm going in just trying to have some fun when I can show up and that sort of thing, So,
yeah. All right, Herbie, when are you going pro?
I haven't been on a sim actually. We've been just busy.
Oh, I know. We've been all over.
I'm driving this weekend too at Lanier, probably Friday and Saturday, so that'll be.
You driving the girls' car?
How long is Lanier open for?
So it's closing officially Sunday, but the rumor now is because there's two owners. I forgot their names, but one of them got bought out by someone else, and they're building like the whole like event center, like paddock, fucking condo thing, dealio. But the other guy wants to keep the track. So the deal is they're going to keep the track. They're going to repave it, make it look nice. And I think probably spring or summer comes around, they're going to start doing drifting again, but once a month instead of every week.
Okay. Interesting.
Which a lot more sustainable. I think it'll bring more people out because it'll be, like
more exclusive,
more rare chance to go drift instead of, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 times a month, which is great.
Overhead.
Yeah, it's a lot of overhead. I don't know how they cover it, but somehow they do. So I'm not complaining, but
interesting. Yeah, I'm hopeful for that track. I mean, that's a pretty popular spot down in Atlanta for you guys. So
yeah, it's like the only spot. So it's yeah, I'm rooting for it. It's gotta keep it going.
Oh yeah.
All right, Herbie, what are you up to now?
I'll be a PRI. Found that out today, actually.
Hell yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you should actually see me now.
Well, I'm definitely not gonna party like I did in Vegas, dude. That was I spent a lot of Oh yeah, Stuki and I, dude, we were in the high roller room for 3 hours. What? Him and I. It was just him and I fucking playing blackjack.
Oh my gosh.
I had 3 different hands out at one point.
What's the minimum?
100.
Jeez.
And I had 3 hands, and then, at this moment I had quite a few schmeckles on me, and I'm fucking putting 600 down at a time. I'm like, who am I?
How'd y'all do? How'd y'all do?
How did I end up doing?
Yeah.
Through the whole trip? I spent the money that I wanted to spend, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, how about the night in the high roller room?
Oh, I got up to $2,000, and then I ended up losing it all back to zero because I didn't give up. I ain't no quitter. Because like I just love the game, and like I went in with $300, and then I just kept playing. Like somehow didn't die off of 3 bets.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, wow, this is great. Like this, and like there's like not like a whole like bunch of like idiots around you. It's nice. Like it was me, Stooky, the fuel lab dude, Tanner.
Yep.
Cotty joined us. Ferris was there. Well, Cotty wasn't playing. And then my coworker Haley was there, like cheering me on, watching me be an idiot. But like that was the one that I'm not gonna say what else. Whatever. Yeah, we're gonna keep that one off because for things. We went to BattleBots.
That's cool.
I ended up shooting for Samet. So if you watch his BattleBots episode, like 80% of the footage is mine.
That's cool.
Whatchamacallit, definitely learned a little bit about myself during this trip that I need to contain. So not in the gambling sense, but definitely in the partying sense. So gonna chill out.
You're just getting responsibilities now. You didn't have as many responsibilities,
Dude, I was out every night until like fucking 5 or 6.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
I was getting great. I met some fellas. I learned how to play craps. Awesome game, dude. Awesome game.
It looks fun.
Yeah, dude. I who knew? Who knew throwing dice is a great time?
Yo, you're on the crapless craps?
Wait, what's that one?
Man, so I just learned myself. It has like highs and lows. I don't know. It's like it has 2 and like 13 in there or something. Or 2. I don't.
Oh well, there was like an inside, so you could put like it would be double if it hit certain numbers or triple if it hit like 2 of the numbers. I don't know if you mean like that, but dude, then there's like the whole other inside of the table where there's like a bunch of like shit that I didn't necessarily know. I was playing with some fellas, and I was giving my money to them to put on what they felt was right, and it was working.
Dudes,
yeah, it's like, and then I ended up leaving.
Voice right
there. I thought
for sure.
potentially I was going to become a statistic in a situation. And I didn't want to be involved in something. They were getting a little aggressive towards the poor people at the table. So I was like,
God.
Yeah, it's interesting. But it sounded like a good time.
Yeah, I did have a good time, but like I said, just definitely we're gonna chill out on having that kind of a good time for a while and partying like that and start just being a
bitch.
Let loose and reel it back in. You're good.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
So
I'm joking.
I ain't hear no bell.
Nerren, what's I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about it, but what you got coming up? And you got some cool videos coming out too. So
yeah, so cool videos coming up, courtesy of yours truly on the other side of that mic right there. On Daily Driver Media was at it with us from SEMA, so you'll be able to see.
There was a lot that happened.
There was so much that went on, but really some of the highlights. We went back out. We were at Shelby American, their Heritage Center in Las Vegas, where they do the builds. They have they do their tours of like the old GT40s and my cars in there sometimes, and a lot of their different generation Shelby builds. You can see their merch facilities all right there, same place. Yeah. And we were working there to bring the old S550 comp car back up to snuff. There were a couple of things we had to update on it, and I broke a rear end at some point. We had to fix that from Drive Chef Shop, and Well, their parts didn't break, but I had a 31 spline diff that broke. Done. You'll see it in the video. It's coming out in the video. We got a new YouTube video coming out, 2 of them, because it's so long. We did so much stuff in Vegas, from debuting the new car, the 650, to which was probably, honestly, you talked about it earlier, and that was probably one of the best moments of my career, because it was the president and vice president of Shelby, and then me up there talking about the SSR drift. And then, I had the team up there as well. And they did that during their annual Shelby party during SEMA, which is after the show gets out, to debut in the car at Shelby and then drifting it for the first time at SEMA. That was a pretty monumental moment as well. And then we also shot a little bit of I think it's going to be in a TV show or a portion of it, or I'm not sure exactly what all they did. But it was, again, with the SSR and the other homies on the team. We were all pulling up our Shelbys to the cameras. You'll get to see some behind-the-scenes stuff of that, and cruising the streets of Vegas and some fully legal Shelbys. But like Vegas doesn't care. They like 3/4 of the cars there were show cars. It seemed like going down the road.
As long as they're respectable, yeah.
It was just an awesome time. The nightlife and all the lights and everything going down the Las Vegas Boulevard is so cool. It is such one of the best just cruises of your life. Just with all the live action.
If you're a fan of architecture and just buildings, dude, there's so much unique stuff over there. It's
so much. You cannot.
Or
I don't
TV
love
screens.
Vegas, but I don't hate it.
I see so many TV screens and so many different angles that you wouldn't even think of, and you're like, that works. I don't know how, but it does.
It does. It looks super cool in video. So so we'll be dropping those YouTube's videos coming up soon on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Nate. That's going to be on Jonathan Nerren Racing. So we got those videos coming out this week and into next week as well. We'll have our final CMD, which I got to send you that footage to get that edit done. But we'll have our CMD footage from this past weekend and the championship coming out soon. This coming weekend, we have, again, that other event. We're going to Puerto Rico, Renfest. That is, and I think it's like an hour. I'll do my math here. East, maybe west of San Juan. It's about an hour from San Juan. Then we'll have, I believe, an off weekend, and we're going to finish up our season December 6th with Shelby American and Next Comp Tires. We'll have our new 650 build out there and doing ride-along. So if you want to check out the new SSR, be one of the first guys in the passenger seat, come join us at Firebird Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona. We'll be out there, all the Shelby guys, me, Bauer, Cameron, Mike. We'll have all the cars out. I think we're going to have like 5 Shelbys out there. And the passenger seat is open. And all of them hop in. So that's going to be a really fun time, a really good time. That was one of our favorite events from last year. It's really big, a really good car show. They had some really good artists out there. And, that's going to wrap up our year. And it's done until I'm hoping, and I'm gonna speak this into existence now. I hope it happens, but I'm hoping we'll have a exhibition with ride-alongs at Barrett Jackson and Scottsdale in January.
That would be sick.
That would be pretty cool.
I'm speaking that into existence. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that, but just in case, if it doesn't happen, sorry. But if it does, just know that we put it into the whatever
the sphere,
tonight. Hopefully we'll have the 650 at Barrett Jackson Scottsdale doing some more drift demos and ride-alongs there. So
that'd be sick. Yeah,
cross my fingers for that.
Doing some cool stuff, and doing it with a cool brand. And I personally got to meet the VP of Shelby, and he's not your typical VP. He's one of the coolest. Because usually, when you deal with like a president or a VP of a company, they're very corporate. They're very, by the numbers. And not saying that he doesn't know his numbers, but also, this guy's backyard, he had a bunch of VW bugs, just chilling, old. Oh man, he had some just the backyard was like just like any one of our backyards. Like, it, if we had
the guy's a car guy through and through, and not to mention like the whole, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Not a cabana, but like
oh yeah, he built everything himself.
Like an outdoor kitchen. It's super like West Coast desert stuff. It had a big old pool. Anyway, dude built everything. And then he has another backyard in addition to his already backyard, just a bunch of cars and car parts, like engine blocks sitting out there, and he's just a car guy like through and through.
No, it was cool to see, but
he hopped in the drift car and ripped it up.
Dude can drive. Yes, he can
drive.
That was one of the funny things I did see. He serial number 1, and he was drifting it around some stone bricks at SEMA. He just drifted around the corner when they kind of released your car. I was like, okay, he knows what he's doing, but that was an expensive car to do that with.
That was like the number 1 serialized production SSR. He ripped it around, and that was just cool to see. They have. With the 5 production and the 1 drift car, that was like the actual production, number 1 production that he was ripping on. So it's like, man,
cool. It's
that's
fun.
a $250,000 car.
Yeah, it's a cool company that I got to see on the inside, and I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man.
This winter is going to be a lot of interview style, kind of like what we just did with Nerren. Getting the ins and outs of how people work and how the industry works, and have a lot of fun, and hopefully we get some good content out to you guys. We're gonna have a lot more stuff, like shorter clips coming out on Instagram as well, now that my timeline is becoming somewhat sane again, after I finish up this content for Nerren. But life's been kind of crazy here, getting back into the swing of things, and I want to thank everyone for checking out the stream.